I'm on page 281. Let's go ahead and start with number 1. The directions say write the reciprocal to complete the multiplication equation. 4/5 times what is equivalent to 1? 4/5 times its reciprocal, which would be 5/4, it is equivalent to 1. Remember, anytime you multiply a number or a fraction times its reciprocal, it will always equal 1. Always. So number 3, 4 times what will be equal to 1? Well, what's the reciprocal of 4? That's the same as saying 4/1, flip it, would be 1/4. That is equivalent to 1. Let's move down to number 5. Find the quotient by multiplying by the reciprocal. Write the answer in lowest terms and multiply to check the answer. So here's my original question. 3/8 divided by 1/2. And I have to use the reciprocal method. Multiply by the reciprocal. I don't do anything to 3/8. I keep my first fraction the same. My division sign changes to multiplication. And 1/2, I take the reciprocal of it, so I flip it. Here we go. Now let's multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. 8 times 1 is 8. I can reduce 6/8 to 3/4. Now I've got to multiply to check. So I take my answer, my quotient, 3/4 times my original divisor. What is 3/4 times 1/2? 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8. Is this the same as my original dividend? Yes, it is. Let's go to number 7. 3/4 divided by 2. Oops. 3/4 divided by 2. Here we go. Don't do anything to that first number, that first fraction. Change my division sign to multiplication. And then this is 2/1, so let's take the reciprocal of 2. That would be 1/2. 3 times 1 is 3, 4 times 2 is 8. There's my answer. Let's multiply to check. 3/8 times, my original divisor is 2. So that's 3/8 times 2 is equal to 6/8, which can reduce to 3/4. That was my original dividend as well. So the answer is 3/8. I'm on page 282 now. Let's do number 8. That's one of your homework problems. You're doing the evens tonight. 3/5 times what will be equal to 1? Well, remember, any number times its reciprocal will always give me 1. So 3/5, I have to multiply it by its reciprocal then to get it equal to 1. Number 11, I've got 1/5 times what is equivalent to 1. Again, anything times its reciprocal will always equal 1. Well, what's the reciprocal of 1/5? That would be 5/1, or just 5. Number 13, 4/9 times what is equivalent to 1? Again, its reciprocal is 9/4. And then number 14, 4 times what is equal to 1? Well, what's the reciprocal of 4? The reciprocal would be 1/4. That would be the answer there. Let me get a new piece of paper and we'll do a few more. Let's look at number 17. Multiply to check the answer. If it is not correct, cross out the incorrect quotient. Find the correct answer using the reciprocal of the divisor. Here we go. 1 divided by 3/4 is equal to 4/3. Is that correct? Well, we have to use multiplication to check it. So I take my quotient of 4/3, multiply that by my divisor, 3/4. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. That is equivalent to 1. Is 1 my dividend? Yes. So you can put a check mark next to 17. That is the correct answer. Let's try number 18. 3/8 divided by 2 is equal to 5/16. Let's solve to check. We take our quotient, 5/16, multiply that by my divisor. 5 times 2 is 10 divided by 16. Let's reduce that down to 5/8. That is not the correct answer. 5/8 and 3/8 is not correct. So let's actually find the correct answer. 3/8 divided by 2, what should it be equal to? Well, we have to solve by multiplying by the reciprocal. Take the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2. So 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 2 is 16. The answer should be 3/16, not 5/16. And then numbers 19 through 30, we are finding the quotient by using the reciprocal method, just like we did on numbers 5, 6, and 7. So let's just do a couple of these. Let's do number 25. 2/5 divided by 2/3. Here we go. Don't change the first fraction. Change that division sign to multiplication and take the reciprocal of the second fraction. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 2 is 10. We can reduce that to 3/5. Let's multiply to check. 3/5 times 2/3 is equal to 6/15. Can I reduce that? Sure. I can reduce that to 2/5. And is that the same? Yes, it is. Let's do number 28, one of your homework problems. 4/6 divided by 1/3. Don't change that first one. 4/6 times, take the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3/1, or just 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 1 is 6. That can reduce down to 2. Multiply. 2 times 1/3 is equal to 2/3. 4, 6, and 2/3. Are those the same? Is that the same as 4/6? Can you reduce 4/6? What does 4/6 reduce to, class? It does reduce to 2/3, so 2/3 and 4/6 are the same. They are equivalent fractions. All right, you've got the evens for homework tonight. Let me know if you have any questions.